Greetings, beautiful beings, and welcome to the Breathing Bar. I'm Olivia, your bartender, today and every day. And I want to thank you for visiting us. We're going into week 2 of our Fall Equinox Bring It to the Table series. But before we go deeper into that, I'm going to tell you what I am sipping on. I have been doing a cleanse, so I've been sipping on actually Rejuvelac. And for those who know, it's fermented wheat berries, soft wheat berries, and it has a very pungent smell. But a lot of times I'll make it and then I'll fuse it with a little bit of ginger, or I may fuse it with some apples, and it just has a nice little carbonated flavor to it. But Rejuvelac has a lot of probiotics, and if you're familiar with Ann Wigmore, she made Rejuvelac popular with her raw food cleanse. But anyway, if you want more information, actually I said I was going to have that in the journal, but I forgot it this week too. So anyway, I'll go back and put an addendum with the recipes for both of the drinks for the last 2 weeks. But anyway, there's a lot going on right now, so just work with a sister. We are talking about bringing some more stuff to the table. There's always stuff to bring to the table, and what inspired me to just go deeper is because you get to the point in your spiritual evolution where you really feel that you have a strong level of awareness, spiritual intuitiveness, discernment, balance. You feel like your heart chakra, your throat chakra, your third eye are just like really resonating and picking up more absolute thoughts and awarenesses. And then you look and see yourself still having the same degenerative habits that you have had when you basically were just functioning in just pure ignorance, bliss. And sometimes it really sucks and it gets on your nerves. You're like, okay, so what is it? Am I fooling myself? Am I not where I am? Or what's going on? And it's twofold. You are where you are in both places. Meaning, if you really think about it, I'll say it that way. Anybody that you know that has been a conduit for any powerful spiritual information or awarenesses had another side, and that's where the movie A Beautiful Mind comes from. That you do have these contrast sides of your light and dark, and so you have to find your balance with it. And even when you're coming into your deeper awarenesses and your revelations and maybe some really profound stuff, you can never negate that the blessing is that you're a conduit for that particular frequency at that particular time. But that doesn't mean that you are that frequency on a regular. That doesn't mean that you can hold space at that frequency for long periods of time. You may be able to, but when you find yourself, and that's where I had to look at myself, when you find yourself in these different realms where you're like, why do I still have this habit? Or why do I still? Or why do I still? When we know through our evolved consciousness that these things are not assisting and keeping the frequency light, these habits keep the frequency heavier. But that doesn't mean that you are not the conduit, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that you are the conduit. You know what I'm saying? You're just the frequency, the body that has been open to receive and pull through. And we know many powerful spiritual beings that are conduits, yet their bodies were not able to sustain themselves with the intensity of the frequencies and the intensity of all that was going on, probably with the different battles they had with their own selves and what was coming in and what they were trying to do at one time. Because many times when you're a conduit, you feel that you're here to offer up or to share or to give or to. And even though that's great, many times people put that, the information that's coming from you, they feel that is you. And it's a part, but it's not in totality. It is me in a certain realm, but that doesn't mean that I can sustain and hold space for you in that energy, in that time for long periods. Or I may be able to. It really depends on what aspect of my awareness you tap into at a given time. And that's what I wanted to talk about, because we can't judge ourselves as hard as we do, but at the same time, we can't even let others judge us. And that's why everything that I do, everything that I share, is according to me. That means nothing to the universe. It came out of my head, or, it came to me and I communicated it or felt it. But at the same time, I don't allow myself to be tattooed with whatever it is, because I say at the same time that I'm prompted to change every single moment. So what I feel today may be totally different tomorrow or the next day. I leave myself that room, and I give myself permission not to be stagnant. And some people may feel that, I'm not rooted because I don't have any foundation. But the only thing that's constant is flow, is change. So I actually am rooted in change. I'm rooted in flowing. I'm rooted in not getting stuck. So if I can't get stuck in a belief system or stuck in a way of thinking. So you just have to balance it. And I've learned that you just have to balance it. So that's what I want to talk about today. And we have the interactive journal available on the website if you want to download that. But as you bring more stuff to the table, the thought is, what are these habits or what are these things that you're holding on to that aren't serving your higher good or your physical, mental well-being right now? And when you write them down, say why. Just out of the blue, to say, why do I A, B, or C? And then when you say that, whatever you come up with, ask why again. Ask why again. And do that a few times, and it should get you deeper into the reality of whatever it is, like what frequency. Because what I found a lot of times is certain things that I do when I'm in certain frequencies. But if I'm in other frequencies, when I say frequencies, if the collective conscious around me, and I don't just mean in the house or at work, but it could be the collective consciousness within a 25-mile radius, within a 5-mile radius, within a 2-mile radius, okay? If the collective consciousness has a particular average frequency, and if I am immersed in that long enough, a lot of times parts of me will fuse into that frequency. And those parts may cause me to, relapse into certain habits. Because I get to the point where I just get, I drain myself by hooking into those on a subconscious level. Like with me, I work on Capitol Hill now. So for a season, it's draining. It's just draining just being in the area, okay? It's draining. And then when you feel the emotions and the energies of everybody and all this going on, that's not my frequency on a norm. That's why I go to meditation caves. I don't get caught up in it. And when I'm in those mountains, a whole nother frequency, and I function totally different. So sometimes it's just a matter of taking yourself out of that space and going somewhere where it's a total different frequency, even if it's just for 3 or 4 weeks, and you almost see your mind and life shift. And I think people have experienced it who go maybe to the islands or have a wonderful, relaxing vacation. It's like, man, I chilled and I meditated and I did yoga and I ate fruit and veg. I did things I wanted to do, and then come back here and all of a sudden it's just like, okay, I need triple sugar Starbucks, or I need, for me, a Nelly bar. Or whatever it is that you just kind of feel yourself sliding back, and you're like, no, I don't want to go back into that. I want to stay in this other space. But that's where decisions have to come in, and you have to decide. And when you decide, you have to move accordingly. And a lot of times that means you have to shift some things, even maybe yourself. So that's all I'm going to talk about when it comes to bringing some more to the table and really getting into those looping habits that we have that just annoy us because we feel we should be through them and over them. And it only takes a minute to do that once we're really ready. And that's the beautiful thing about it all. So you all have a blessed moment wherever you are. And I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for taking this time. I'm Ahuvia, your bartender here at the Breathing Bar. Give thanks.